Hello, hello. Can you see me? Please type in the chat if you can all see me. Hello, welcome. Take a step to a better you. If you are new here, my name is Sherifa Nakalema, and here now I'm live. So if you're seeing this later, I did this live and just chat, ask me anything. Recently, I had a video, it's in the link in the description of this live, where I'll talk about USA schools. I've shared a lot about USA recently, but ask me about anything. And I'm going to ask you about a few things too. I have a few questions here for you. So I see you in the chat. Hello, Naim, I see you. Today we have Malaysia in the house, Salma, Moonlight, Janet. Welcome, welcome. So ask me anything. Do you prefer I ask you or you ask me? I see you, Eva. Thank you. Do you prefer I ask you first or you want to ask me first? I did this very differently because I brought it earlier than usual. I wanted to see you or in the chat, Malaysia, Bangladesh, because the time difference there is really far away from me. So I decided this is early now. It's 10 a.m. my time. So I did this intentionally for you. Those who are normally asleep, you have to wake up to be in my life. So type something in the chat. Do you want me to start asking you questions about USA, or you want to ask me? You have a few questions for me. Decide what to do first. I have a few questions for you. Can you hear me? Salma, can you hear me? Janet, can you hear me? Naim, can you hear me? And see me? I said 10 a.m. I think you converted it wrong, Naim. I said 10 a.m. Eastern. You know, when I'm speaking, I speak in my time. I think you misunderstood it. I said 2 hours earlier than usual. That's okay. I think you misunderstood my time, Naim. I said 10 Eastern time. That means USA time. I wasn't talking about your time. I'm sorry. But I posted this video a long time ago. If you clicked, it would have shown. You'll find us here. How far away are you from your house, Naim? I wish you had clicked on it. It would have shown you how long left. Ask me anything. Salma, Moonlight, and Janet, put your question, please. Naim will wait for you. How long does it take you to get to your house? But as I was clear, I said 2 hours earlier. So anyone with a question, put it in the chat. I know this time is not good for many people because it's early. It's early for many people. Okay, Salma, Janet, type your question, please. If you have any questions. Recently, I talked about schools. If you can ask me questions about the school video, or when I talked about college, I talked about Rotarians, remember? Okay, for you who come later, I'm actually watching the chat to see what they're asking. Yes. That was my time. I always speak in my time. I don't convert to your local time, especially when I'm very, very sure. Like Malaysia converts exactly with mine, so it's easy to convert to their time. So what time are you going to be where you want to be, Naim? Well, I'm going to be here for a while because it's morning. There's no rush for me. Only I have a member in the group who has, in 1 hour, we have something from Rachel. Rachel's coming live, so I have to stop before Rachel. So this is chat because I didn't want to bring a topic. When I bring a topic, is for my normal time. This one was just to answer your questions, if you have any questions. So I'm taking your questions first, then I'll ask mine next. I have a few questions here. It's all about USA today. Okay, if you don't have questions, I'll ask you my questions. But then if you don't have questions, we're going to make it very, very short. Okay? Ask me your question, please. I have a few here for you. Like, I'm going to ask you about the states in USA. I'm going to ask you about the people in USA. I'm going to talk about the languages in USA, like those kind of things. But you can ask me anything. Hey, Rachel. Yes, yes. And we're waiting for yours, Miss Rachel. Hello, Miss Rachel. Welcome. Miss Rachel, I'm trying to finish mine before yours. Okay, okay. You go. I did this one early, Miss Rachel, because there are some people who requested me to be early. That's why I'm doing this one. But I'm also aware that you're coming live. So I'll make sure this one is done before yours, okay? You go home. Go home, Miss Rachel. We watch yours next. Virginia. I'm in Virginia. I'm in Virginia. Recent I've been showing you things in Virginia, like this community colleges. I've shown you, yesterday I was showing you schools, local schools, pre-K, elementary, middle, high school. My recent video, in fact, the link is in the description. So if you want to know something about Virginia, USA, but in general, schools in USA, public schools. And now live, that will be a disappointment. If you cannot be on this live, that means I'm not doing them early again, because I did this thinking of you people in Bangladesh. That's why I switched the time. Okay, yes. So now, if you're not on my live, that means I'll keep my lives later, because the people who normally come to my lives right now they're working. They're not awake. I mean, sorry, they cannot be here. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I did this specifically for you and for people in Bangladesh and people in Malaysia. So I'll make it short then. I'll make it short, and then I'll stick to my other times when I come later, when people are free. This is not good for other people. Miss Rachel, go prepare for yours. We'll watch yours. I'll make this one short if there are not people asking questions, because I didn't prepare to talk about any topic, real topic, except if someone wants to set a smart goal. So I'll make it short. Let me wait for Malaysia. Ask. This one is about just question and answers. I'm not going to teach anything except like smart. If one wants to discuss a smart goal. So when you are on, I expect you to be in the chat asking. Please ask your question in the chat. Okay? Janet, please ask your question in the chat. And Salma, whoever is on, ask your questions. Anyone online, please ask me in the chat. That's the only way we're going to do this, because I didn't plan to talk to you about anything except to answer your questions. So please ask me, and let's get it moving. And now for those who are going to come later, it will be boring for them if we are not answering any questions. The questions you could ask, like recently I had videos about USA schools. You can ask from those. Janet, you said you liked pre-K. I don't know why you like pre-K a lot. So you can ask me about preschools. Salma, you said you like the fact that they teach how to drive in America in schools. They teach the theory or part of it, and then of course there are driving schools that can teach the practical part of it. You have to pay to be taken on the road, but the schools teach the theory. They teach the theory, and which is very, very good, because you know when you start driving when you are young, it's not very good for the people on the roads. You are not, because the car is very, very dangerous. So what they do in school, they teach them the rules, and they also show them the crashes, and they scare them. And then when it's time to drive, the real driving, they give the we call it driver's license here, but you can, other countries may call it driving permit. They give it to the parent. They give it to the parent, they say it's yours, you decide. When they don't behave, don't give it to them. So like me, I go, you hold it, they give it to the parent. They don't give the child or the student until they're 18. So is the mom or dad, whoever is in charge, is the one who handles the driver's license, and they are free to take it away if the child is not a good driver or not listening. So, but it's good. It's good they start driving really, really early. So Salma, do you have any questions about that? And Janet, do you have any questions about the schools? I saw that you are really, really interested. Because if it's not very, very live, if you're not what food habit of you, okay, thank you, that's a good question. Welcome. No, not Salma, I don't expect just interesting. Ask a specific question. This is the question answer answer session. So ask the way you see Mariam asking. Mariam, welcome, Mariam. I'm going to the food, you know, America. Let me show you something. Let me see if I can get something here. Let me first ask this question. All of you who are listening, first answer this question, then I'll come and explain Mariam's question. So how many languages do you think are spoken in USA? In general, how many languages? I'm going to give you options. Do you think A, 250, B, 370, or C, 430? How many languages you think are spoken in USA? I got this from just Google. So is it 250, which is A, 370, which is B, or 430, which is C? Why? Why did you choose 430? You have to explain it. Why? Why did you say 430? So that, see, Salma said 250. Who else? As the other one was 370. Do you think it's 430, 370, or 250? Then after that, after I get the answer to that, I'll answer Mariam's question about the food. Because in general, Mariam, in general food in America, they have their general, like the general American food. But what happens, people tend to find their foods, like where they originally come from. So, like we have a store here, we call them stores. You can call it a shop or like the big thing, a store, where they sell international foods. So it's called global. So if you came here, you would love that store because it's going to bring you all the foods you see in your country. They bring them here. So what happens? People tend, although they eat the general American foods, but they tend to go find their own foods. Okay? Whenever they settle, they try to find where to get it. Something familiar, something from original, because this is a land of immigrants. Although many children are born here, but the immigration spirit is still there. They speak the language at home, they teach their children the language and the foods. So, but generally, we have bread, rice, Irish potatoes, all those things, pizza, like those things. Depending if you're healthy eating, the vegetables and fruits and all that. But we tend to look for what we want. Like for me, I like bananas. And when I say bananas, I don't mean the yellow bananas. I mean green bananas, the ones we cook and smash. But because I can't get them from... Okay, you change your answer. But the answer, okay. The answer is actually 430. So when Janet put it out and says like she checked it, I think over 430 languages. So, Salma, I see you change your mind. I think you Googled it. Yeah, it has got many nationalities. Yes. It's a land of immigrants. So people tend to still find something familiar. Mariam, I think I've answered it. For me, where I originally come from, which is Africa, Uganda, I like bananas, but these are green. You boil them and smash them, and that's how we do it over there. But here, people have started importing them. But by the time they get them here, they pack them in ice. I tested them, they don't taste good. So if you want the fresh bananas, still green, then I go to Global Food. The store I just told you about. And from Mexico, anything coming from Mexico also tends to be good. So we like Irish potato. They even have what we call cassava, but they name them different. They give them different names. But you just see it physically, and then you get used to what they call it. Like cassava, I think they call it yuca. They have different names, but we find them. So Irish potato, sweet potato, they call it papaya. I mean, okay, papaya is for fruits. So we find them. People tend to find what's familiar. But if you ask like the general food, rice is everywhere. If you go to a restaurant, you find rice, you find fish, you find chicken, and then recently, because I'm a Muslim, we are lucky now we have even halal restaurants where I go and you are eating halal food. It's starting to come up, so that's good. Yes, bananas, but they don't taste the same. They don't taste like the ones in Uganda. No, they're different, but it's better than nothing. Okay, so Mariam, did I answer that? Moonlight, the answer is about what? So if you came, I think one time, maybe I'll take my camera in Global Food and show you the foods that we have here, but they are actually from far away. So what they do, if you go in this store, they have, okay, if you are looking for things from China, go this aisle. If you're Indian foods, go this way. African foods, go that way. So they tend to, like spices, things you use to cook, they are very, very organized. They make them in aisle, so you read, and then you go where I think you'll find something relevant. But you won't find the exact thing. It's gonna be similar, okay? So any other questions? Salma, ask me about the driving. I think I answered it for you. Like they will give it, when you are under 18, they don't give the driving permit to you. They give it to your parent. And the parent has the powers to say go on the road or don't go on the road. And I talked about cars when I was talking that recent video. By the way, for those who are interested in the video I recorded recently about American schools, it's in the description. It's also the most recent video. And I talked about the schools in USA. Bananas are so hard like nails. What you do, you peel them and put them in water. But not overnight. Keep them in water like the way we do beans. Keep them in water for a while, for hours, before you start cooking. That's a trick we use when the bananas are so hard. So, Janet, you wanted to ask, but overnight, they change the taste. That's not good. Moonlight, ask me any question. I see you there. Ask me. You've been putting comments on my videos. I appreciate that. Do you have any questions for me? Today's just question answer. Let me ask you also as you find questions for me. How many, I answered this before, but I'm going to ask you, but in general terms, because there are like other explanations, but in general, how many states are in USA? How many states? There are states, and every state has a governor, so they are managed like a country. Like me, I'm in Virginia, I have a governor of Virginia. So the rules are for that. The governor comes up with their rules for the state or whatever they were the governors. But then there's the federal. So the federal government, the one that's headed by the president. What's his name? What's the name of the current president? I asked this before. We had a chat about the US president. Who is the current USA president? Hello, hi, how are you? Today I'm answering anything. Anything you want to ask me, ask me. It's for you, my people who are in countries that sleep early. Whenever I'm here, you're sleeping. So today I did an early one for you. So I will talk about, I asked how many states in USA. And then I asked the same question, who is the president of USA? Because the president, yes, but you know there are territories. That's why I asked the general answer. They start like saying there is territories, but there is also the District of Columbia. Have you heard of the District of Columbia? When they say Washington, D.C.? Yes. Yeah, Zuria. Zuria is in the house. Did you see Janet and Salma? Zuria is in the house. Welcome, Zuria. It's been a while. Yeah. So 50, but we have like District of Columbia. So now let me ask the next question. What is the largest state of all of them? What do you think is the largest? By the way, let me give you options to make it easier for you. Do you think the largest state is Texas, Alaska, or California? Answer. Which one do you think is the largest of those? Is it Alaska, Texas, or California? The largest state, the biggest one in USA. What do you think? For those of you who come later, please, I'm going to keep this on the channel, so please put your answers. But then, of course, we'll have answered it already. Salma thinks is Texas. Okay, everyone, please, what do you think? Which one of those three you think is the largest state? Is it Texas, Alaska, or California? By the way, this is not common knowledge. Even people in America, many of them don't know the answer. California, okay. Salma said Texas. Zuria, what do you think is the largest state in USA? How about everyone else? I see more people on, but they're not typing. Please get in the chat. Today is the chat day. Ask me anything. Alaska? Why Alaska? Actually, that's the correct answer. It's Alaska. I was surprised too. And guess that Alaska is the largest, and by a large amount. Let me show you the numbers. They said Texas. I'm going to read just it's Alaska. So Texas is like 28, just roughly, I'm not reading the whole number, 268,000 square miles. Then California is like 163,000 square miles. They have extra numbers. And then, but Alaska is 665,000. I said, what? That's almost 3 times. Okay, double Texas and 3 times California. I could not believe it. And guess what? There is something I found out about Alaska that I need to mention, because I was trying to learn about unique things about Alaska. You know what they said? That Alaska pays residents to live there. They paid money. You know, it's so cold. Iceland. They pay people, and the last payment, 2018, was $1,600 for people to live. I laughed. We all need to move to Alaska. Yeah. Oh, Medina is here. Oh, Medina. Hello, Medina is in the house. Yes, they pay people to live in Alaska. You want to be there? It's so cold. 1,600 was the last, 2018. Maybe they pay them more now. Who wants to be in the cold? Can you be in the cold? Yay! Juana's in the house. Hello, Juana. Did you know that Alaska is the largest state? It's okay, Medina. Nice to have you. This chat was for people who live in countries like Bangladesh and Malaysia, because for them, they miss them all the time. So I did it for them. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Juana. Did you know, Juana, that Alaska was the largest state in USA, and it had it's like twice the size of Texas and like 3 times the size of California? I didn't know that. And that they pay people to live there. Janet, you want to go live in Alaska? It's so cold. You can't last a day. Why do you think people don't want to be there? Then I asked about something interesting. How many people do you think emigrate to USA every year? Okay. Thank you for showing up, though, Wana. Thank you. You can't. Okay. So I was saying the other thing I found out about USA, how many people immigrate. Meaning they immigrate. They come to live to America every year. What do you this time? I don't know. Should I give you options? Like 500,000 millions. What do you think? Like 500,000? I'll watch later. No, you don't have to watch, Joanna. This is chat. I'm just chatting with my people here. It's okay. 50,000? 50,000. That's very small. 50,000. Thank you, Juana, for showing up. Okay, thank you. 50. Okay, I have 500,000 the first option, or 200,000 second option, or 1 million people who immigrate to USA. And then I'm gonna ask. By the way, I googled this. It's not like if anyone watches later and say this, where did you get that? It's just in Google. You can go Google it too. So 50,000 is too small, Medina. That's too small. The options I gave you are 500,000 was the number one. Then I gave you 200,000 as B. 1 million. Yes, you got that. It's 1 million. But the American dream, you create it. And now you can create it from anywhere. Yes. Actually, 1 million is the figure I found. And guess what? Maybe you wouldn't be shocked. They said from where? Which country has the largest number? This time I'm not giving you options. Which country do you think the largest number of people coming to America? That's fun. I have people in the chat who are not chatting. Remember we talked about the languages? The languages, that 430 languages. Yeah! You got it right. They said that most people come from China. But you know, it's strange because here you don't see them as many here in the country, at least where I am. But because America is too big, so you cannot really know. Mexico, but you see, Mexico is strange. I don't want to get into politics, but the one coming from Mexico are not coming here legally. We are talking about people, some of them, I don't want to make mistakes. Some of them don't come legally. You see what you hear in the news? So I'm talking about people who get the visas and they are allowed to come. That's the number we're talking about. China, Mexico. Mexico is in the news, and it's not even Mexico. You see, it's the Mexican border, but people come from other countries. They just end up coming through Mexico, but they are actually coming from other countries. I don't want to be getting into politics of that. It's very sensitive over here. So let's drop that. Let's not do it too long. But it's over 1 million. 1 million. I said, what? That's a large number. And the largest number was from China. You know, coming to America, let me tell you something. You cannot come to America except the bordering countries. You come here like by air. So most people really have visas to enter. They have the visas to enter, but they just overstay. They just come and refuse to go back. So refuse to go back, choose not to go back, delay, stay, stuff like that. But they really allowed them to enter. Not everyone here came illegally. They allowed them to come because they come by air. So you ask me questions. I've asked you mine. Any questions? I'm posing for your questions. Janet, you were asking about the preschool. You said you like the preschool. What did you like about the preschool? By that video, when I'm talking about the schools in USA, it's in the description if you want. It's the most recent video on my channel. When I drove around and showed you a preschool, elementary school, middle school, high school. So the way a child would go through the school system, at least here where I am. But mostly they're all like that. But you can start your child from 5 years. You can keep your child at home if you can until they're 5 years. That's when school starts. Some kids do well. How long have you lived in US? Over 20, almost 25 years now. That's how long I've been in USA, Salmon. It's been a long time, and in the same place, in the same state of Virginia. Yes, yes, yes. But it's also tricky. Number one, is so expensive to put a child there. So it may not be worth it. Only if you have a very good job. Because, for example, if they charge $100 to take care of a child who's walking, or like a 2-year-old, they may charge double that to charge a baby, for the baby. I don't think, some people look at, that's why I hear some people are changing. When they're husband and wife, they may choose one parent to stay at home, take care of the kids, instead of taking 2 children to a daycare center. How much money are you making? It's very expensive to have them there. So it's good, but maybe not so good. You have to be making good money. Like that place I showed you, it's called Children of America. And it's very beautiful inside, very expensive. And some are even more expensive. There's another one that's high end. So you have to be really making a lot of money to do that. Yeah, so what they do, they choose one parent to stay home. That's more common. One parent to be home, another one to work until the children start going to school. And then when they start going to school, I think I mentioned in my video, there's another challenge. Because those schools, they go, like in elementary, from 9, they take the kids close to 9 a.m. and then they bring them back by 4. So it's just 9 to 4. So you still have a challenge. Who is going to be home to receive them? Someone has to be home so if you're working a regular job, still you have a challenge. That's why I said the other schools have what they call after-school programs, so they can keep those children in elementary school until you come off work, then you pick them up from there. So that's the most challenging thing here, I think. 2 things, taking care of children and taking care of the elderly, like grandma, grandpa, mom, when they're older. Those are very expensive. Yeah, I can't come and stay, then extend my stay for more than 1 year. What? I can't come and stay, then extend my stay for more than 1 year. No, you know, America is, you need to know something about USA. I'm asking Mr. Famous question. Just because you're allowed to enter USA, doesn't mean you're allowed to stay there. You can't work. You cannot work. So how I think the highest, the longest they allow people at the border, maybe 6 months. They cut it, depending on what you tell them. If you say they give you 3 weeks or 1 month or 3 months, you are supposed to go back. So if you stay, what will you be doing? You are not allowed to work. You are either you are visiting. If you are visiting, you can't work. So, but if you have a good reason to renew, yes, you can renew. For example, you can go ask for an extension, but not too long still. Because remember, they're always suspicious. They think you want to stay, and you are not allowed to stay. Only if there is a way to change that visa. Maybe you become a student, you go sign up and pay and become a student, international student, things like that. You have to become legal, and then when you're a student still, you're not allowed to work. The work part is not there. So how are you going to be here? Okay, ask me more questions. Although I'm not a lawyer, by the way. I'm not a lawyer, but I tell you what I know. Mr. Fem, respond to that, what I just told you. You can stay, but who is going to keep you for that long when you don't have any money? If you are rich, then you better off coming like a business person. Then that's different. I think their visas are different. They give them multiple. You can come and go. Like 2 years, come and go, renew. Those are free to come anytime. But if you're coming to visit, it's they're very strict with you. You can't just keep staying. You have to go. I answered it, right? So anyone with more questions, remember we have to end it. So Rachel is going to start her live, but at 11:30 though, in about 40 minutes. So anyone with another question, or you want to end this one? I'm going to keep it on. For those of who, please, all of you who are on, make sure you are subscribed to this channel and you click on the bell so you're notified when you have new videos coming, new videos, when I'm live, all the things I do here. Please make sure, and also share other people to come. Ask them about But Mr. Fame, my intention for this channel is to ask people to stay where they are. Stay where you are. Because online you can do so many things. You don't need to come. Because just converting a visa to become something else, like if you're allowed to process it to be here legally, it's going to take you a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Just to settle, to go, I have somewhere to live, I have a car to drive, it's going to take you a long time. So why not stay where you are? Come online, learn, do things, stay with your family. I don't think it's worth it. Yes, I think yes. I think that one is yes. You can talk to a lawyer. If you want to become a student, I think yes. Because still when you're a student, it doesn't mean you are allowed to be here forever still. Still you belong to the other country. Still you are like a visitor temporarily. I think you can become a student. But when you want to become permanent, I think that's when they require you to go back first. When you, what we call the green card, when you want to become a permanent person. But there's always ways, and the administrations are different. So maybe this one will change some rules. But people who've been changing visas permanently to become a permanent resident, I think they've been asking them to go back. But to process it from there and then come when it's done. And it takes a while. But I think the student, you can change it, I think. If you have the money. You know, it's very, very expensive for international students. I did a video when I talked about community college. You can go watch that. I linked in this video, the one we're seeing here, I linked something where I say when I'm out, when Sherifa's out, those videos, I talk about the cost of American education in community college. And you can even go on their website, you will see. International, all you have to do is prove the money. You have to prove the money, you can pay, they'll give you a visa. If you can pay for it. Can be changed to study visa. But why would you want to do that though? That's the other question. That's why I say, stay where you are. Let's learn what we learn. Let's do things through this internet. It's a blessing. It's not worth it. It's a lot of money to do that. Because that's just tuition. Where are you going to stay? You need a car to drive. How are you going to move around? Who's going to feed you? All that stuff. So if you stay in a hostel in their place, it's very, very expensive still. Yet they cut off. They have like breaks, summer breaks, winter, spring breaks. Where are you going to be? My vote would be no. Settle where you are. Make your life where you are. Stay close here with me. We learn how to do this online business and be okay. Be with your people. You're not going to see your people for years, for many, many years, until you are legal. You can't go and come. You see what I mean? Then you're going to end up being illegal inside. They give you penalties. I don't want to go into immigration too much, but I think I've seen people suffer. Then you can't go back. You spent all the money, maybe you borrowed to come. You can't go back. You can't make the money here. It's not going to happen so soon. It's not there. People you see with money, it's taking them a while. Okay. Okay. Any more questions? I'll be here another maybe 10 minutes. Okay. I think some of you have to sleep, right? You're about to sleep. Ask me a few questions. There's someone who came here and I don't see any questions in the chat. What was his name? Let me check. Here, I'm checking my phone. Ronnie, you are here, but I don't see any questions in the chat. The reason I'm here today is to answer your questions. If you are on, Ronnie, please type in the chat. Ask me your question. Okay? Or if you are done, we'll close this one. We'll close this one. Who in the chat wants to come to USA? Who thinks it's still a good idea to come? Yes. You think it's a good idea? I mean, I'm here, but I'll vote, say, if you're starting over, only if you have the skills, by the way. If you have a PhD, or you want to have a PhD, those kind of skills, you are a doctor, you are a nurse, like the skills they need, then I think they make it easier for them. Janet, you want to be in USA? You can come to USA. By the way, next I'll do another live. Let me see if I can do it for you here. Let me see. Let me see if I can give you something very important, very good. Because you can come to USA through the lottery. Let me see if I can get you a link here. Because if you put in the lottery, but I think maybe not today. For those of you who have, it's going to take too much time. Or to visit me, that would be great. Maybe when you see me live in future, I may talk about the DV lottery, because that's where people come here. You check your country, they have slots for different countries. You can just put your name, you apply. If you have high school education and you are healthy, then they test you and all that. You can come to live in America legally. You process it there, you come with a green card, get a green card here. But every country has a number, a limited number every year. So if they keep that going, many people have come to USA that way. If you want to search, you see the DV. Let me put it in the chat. DV. Okay. See what I'm typing in the chat. Write it down, and go search for this. Check in the chat. So when you go to the State Department website, search for the DV lottery. You're going to read about it. They're going to tell you when it happens and where to check and all that. All you have to do is put your name. You put your name, you give them your photo, and then you give them your email. So later, after the drawing happens, people are about to get their results soon. The people who applied last year. So when they say you are picked, then they tell you what to do next. But I just told you what happened next. You have to prove you have a high school education. You have to prove you have you are not sick. You go do a test, and you don't have a security risk in your country. All that. Then you pay the fees. You go do an interview. If they say, and you know what the good thing about that? You can come with your whole family. If you pass through, you can come with your whole family. If you're a wife, you come with your husband and your children. If you're a husband, you come with your wife and your children. The best thing that will ever happen to you. So you search for that. I just gave you good information. I hope it's not illegal that what I'm doing here. It's common knowledge for those who know it. So that's the way to come to USA, the cheapest way. Yes. So I think if you are done with the questions, if you have any more questions about what I just shared there, because that's very, very important information, what I told you about the DV, when it comes, I think it's about to come, you check that website. I didn't put a link, just check for the State Department. They talk about that. You search for the DV lottery. They'll tell you which country, how many people, and all that stuff, and when to expect it. So all you have to do is put your name and your photo. Hey, now you have to have a passport. I forgot. If you plan to do that, you better plan to have your passports ready. People without passports cannot enter anymore, because I think they are processing people and they are not claiming. Maybe they won the lottery and never processed everything. So you have to make sure you have a passport, like right now. Have a passport ready. So when the time comes to apply, I think it's about to start. Then you put in your name. It's just by chance. But the best thing that can happen to you is to have that, to be picked. And you come to America that way. Because then you're allowed to work. Everything's in order. It's just up to you. But getting to work here is the biggest challenge. You're not allowed to work. Okay, I think I'm going to end this one. Only if you have any more questions. So Mr. Fame, I just gave you something there. Find the DV lottery. When it comes, make sure you have a passport. Put in your name. Keep doing that. And put as many people as you want. Your family members, friends. You can all compete and see who is going to get. It's just by chance. They pick your name, then you're picked. You process the papers. you an answer? Really? Were you listening to me, Mr. Fan? I just said everything right there. You need to go. I'm disappointed. I said, have a passport, go to that department. Oh my goodness. Let me get it for you. Maybe you are distracted. I typed here important information. Let me find it for you. I said, find this. I'm typing it again, okay? Search about this. That's the easiest way to America in the best way possible. If you come here like that, you never know struggle. Because what limits you is that you have the education, you can work. Because they allow you to work, and but it takes money though to process it. But it's the easiest way because it brings in your family. You come with your family. But the other ones, you process every person one by one. It's very, very expensive. Even if you got it yourself, you still have to file for your wife, file your child, file. But this, you do one transaction. Okay? Have I answered you now? Yes, DV lottery. But go find it from the State Department. If you find it in the internet, they may lie to you. They're going to tell you about those stories, give us some money, we'll pass through. It's free. It's free at the beginning to go through the process. But you need a passport. If you don't have a passport number, you cannot enter now. Starting, I think, from the past 2 years. People without passports cannot enter. So make sure there are people I shared a link with last year, and they couldn't get in because they didn't have passports. I was sharing a link last year. So to go fill in. All you have to do is put your photo, your name, and everything about you, and that's it. Then you wait. The results come by email. They'll tell you if you pass through. If you did, then you get in the process of proving your education, proving you are not sick, proving you are not your country is not looking for you, whatever the country has to clear, and then you start working on a visa. You pay. They do DNA tests. If you're saying this is my child, they test you to prove. The process, the whole family. Yes, that's the best way. Okay, I'm getting off. Anyone with more questions? Ronnie, I didn't see you asking. I didn't see you asking any questions, and yet you are here. Yes? Please don't ask me outside of this. I opened this up to answer your questions. If you are on, Ronnie, ask me here in the chat. Okay? Because I put out this time for this reason. So please. Okay, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And for those of you who want to be my Facebook group, find me on Facebook. If you want to start a YouTube channel, you have a YouTube channel, you want to grow it, you want to learn how to earn money online, you want to just be around people who are serious. If you're serious, you can come. We are just 23 people now, very few people. Where is Mariam? Where is Mariam? How come Mariam is not here? Is Mariam here? I mean Mariam Malaysia. Is she on this one? Because we would work on getting her in the group today. Because I may be very, very busy actually. Starting from tomorrow and all that time. If she had some time, we could work on that today. Getting her in the group. Okay? If she's here, anyone who wants to come to my group, let me share a link. Because on Monday I come live, but I may not have time to process new people. Sometimes it gets crazy. So, okay, anyone, but when you come to my, that's the group. If Mariam is awake, let her process this today. But to apply, she needs to be her name. The real name, and also she can input anything, any image, doesn't have to use her photo, but anyone in the group has to be her name because it's hard to change it later. So when you come, you have to be your real self. You can use Abdurrahman as the last name, that's fine, or I don't know. Okay? So, but anyone coming to the group, there are rules. I have to talk to them first. You apply, but you wait for my response. I'll ask for your phone number. And then I talk to you first. Because it's really not for everyone. Okay, any more questions? I'll get this off as we wait for Rachel to come. If you want, I can do this around this time. If you that's what you want. Maybe I could make it like 10:30 though. Wait for a few more people. Because remember, like right now in Uganda, it's just 6 p.m. They can't be on. And here it's 11 a.m. People are working. Okay. Are you done? Anyone more questions? More questions? I'm going to cut it off. Salma, you didn't ask your question about driving. Did you finish? Don't say I didn't answer. Okay, closing. If you don't have any more questions, I'm going to keep this on, especially the information I just shared about the DV. The DV, maybe I'll put it in the headlines. I may put it in the headlines so people who want to hear about it, they can come and watch this video. You can share it. Share with people. It's going to be live. I'm going to leave it on. They can come hear me talk about that, the DV. I finished, done. Okay. Like I always end them and say, take good care of yourself. Keep around. Please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this live. Share it. And let's support each other. Take a step to a better you. For those of you who come later, you can post your questions on this video. I'll answer them. Like especially what I talked about, the DV lottery. It helps people. Many families have come because of that. So add your questions on this video when you come later. It will show up later after I close it off. It will become a regular video. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully it was good for you, the ones who were able to attend it. We'll invite more people in future. I think I'll do them earlier. It also helps me because this is Friday. It helps me prepare for my Juma prayers. So I think I'll move the live a little bit earlier. And then sometimes very late. For those people like in Uganda, like 9 p.m. sometimes. But I like this audience today, okay? Bye-bye.